Hey everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at the Political Machine 2016. That's right, it has been 4 years since the last time that I played the Political Machine. Well, that's probably not true. It's probably been like 3 years. This is a game that seems to come out, it's published by Stardock, around every single election cycle in the United States of America. And I have to admit that I kind of have a soft spot for the Political Machine 2012. It's a strategy game, but it's pretty light strategy. It's political strategy, but not in like a dry way. It's like a cartoonish interpretation of what it would be like to run your own presidential election campaign in the United States. And the thing that's kind of a draw about it is that it has not only historical characters, like in Political Machine 2012, at least you could be like Abe Lincoln, Bill Clinton, Al Gore, etc., and modern day, like the present people actually running for, you know, president of the United States, like Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, Ben Carson, Donald Trump, etc. But also you can create your own zany custom nominations, I guess, and use them as the actual candidates. I should point out, I mean, like, this is gonna be a Let's Look At where I do talk about whether or not I like the game, but I should point out right off the bat that, first off, I've only played about 31 minutes of it, as you can see right here, but I played 6 hours of 2012, and it's just a reskin, basically, which I mean negatively, but also positively. Like, if you're looking for a game that is like an obscene amount of work went into it, it's innovative, you're not really looking for the Political Machine 2016. I almost said 2012, even though it's been 4 years. But if you're looking for a very narrow subset of strategy games like this that is actually fairly fun, pretty accessible, and contains a multiplayer mode that actually works, then by all means give it a check. It is only $10 American, which is relatively cheap for a game like this, I suppose. So we're going to start a new game. I've done one complete campaign so far. The thing about the Political Machine is that the difficulty of the game is very much going to vary depending on your knowledge of the American electoral system, of course. You know, as a quick rundown, the American electoral system basically means that works this way. Every single state has a certain number of votes in the electoral college. So a state with a higher population is worth more relative to a state with a lower population. There are 538 electoral college votes in total available, so you need 270 to win. So basically a lot of the Political Machine, if you play it straight, I guess, comes down to, you know, win the states that you would expect to win. So if you're like a Democratic candidate, you would expect to win like New York and Washington State and District of Columbia, etc. And if you're a Republican candidate, you would expect to win, you know, the Midwestern states and Texas. And then it basically comes down to who wins Florida, who wins California, usually Democrats recently, I guess, or who wins Texas, usually Republicans recently. So, and there's other battleground states, but a certain level of that is built in, I guess. So if you're not very knowledgeable, you know, maybe playing on Cakewalk or something would be smart. I played the last game on beginner. I played as Donald Trump against Hillary Clinton and, like, basically treated it as a tutorial and totally stomped. Not to brag, I guess I understand a little bit more about what's going on here. So why don't we try on challenging instead? And I may well lose on that, which is good. You can also randomize everything if you don't want to have that kind of built-in success or built-in, I guess, knowledge, but I'm kind of like, I want to keep everything pretty much the way it is because I'm playing a game that's already based on the strategy of, or it's based on American politics, so I kind of don't want to mess with it, but you can do that if you want to. We're going to play 21 weeks, which is not going to be too long here. All right, so these are our custom candidates here. I mean, you can see that it's got all the ones that are, I guess, in the news the most this year. Ben Carson, Carly Fiorina, Donald Trump, Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, Mike Huckabee, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, and then, of course, on the Democrat side, I guess we can sort it this way. Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, I guess Lincoln Chafee, and Martin O'Malley, Joe Biden, etc. We can also make our own custom classes, which I think is what we're going to do. I'm going to put Donald Trump in the video because he's got to be in the video. You know, he's a hot-button issue right now. But we'll play as our own custom, like, Democratic candidate or something. I don't really have a horse in this race, but, you know, you can see they're all modeled all cute-like here. And really the big get for me here is looking at what the game has rated their attractiveness at built into the game. Like Al Gore, you know, he's a solid 6. Bernie Sanders doesn't get so lucky. He comes across as a 2. I mean, he is like 80. Bill Clinton pulls out a 7 despite the Jay Leno bobblehead. Hillary Clinton is only a 5, so, you know, she really hit above her weight class, I guess, in that wedding. I'm being a little bit sarcastic, I guess. You know, Donald Trump, you know, he's up here. He's a 5 for attractiveness. Maybe a little generous, but that's, you know, it's up to them, I guess. So we're going to create our own candidate here, and we'll just call them Northern Line. Why don't we just name them after ourselves, basically? And for our home states, we'll make them a Democrat. I wonder, no, you can't run as an independent. We're just going to choose a state that Democrats normally don't win, but it would be nice to have a boost in. So we're going to make our home state Texas, which is basically cheating here. Then we can put our points in whatever we want here in order to make ourselves as tailor-made as we want, basically. So you start with 10 points here. I'm going to try to make our charisma high, because it affects speeches and ads, which are good. And I don't mind lowering our appearance to, like, 0, basically. And then we can put our charisma up to 10. It's basically like it's cynically asking you to tailor-make, I should say, the candidate that you think has the best chance of winning in an election. Well, having a lot of starting money is also really valuable, so you can get kind of a good economy under you to start with. You can do fundraising later. Credibility. What does credibility affect? Increases the effectiveness of your negative ads and decreases the effects of negative ads your opponent makes. Media bias. Determines how much the press likes your candidate, which can sway independent voters. That's pretty good. I think we could also maybe crank down religious and crank up fundraising a little bit. I guess the first point doesn't cost anything. Oh, no, it does still. My mistake. Stamina is pretty useful, too. Maybe we'll crank down... Even intelligence a little bit is not as important as having good fundraising and probably stamina. So let's start out like this. We're Northern Lion from Texas. We're very charismatic. We've got a lot of money and a good ability to make more. And we got a lot of energy. And then this is our platform. And basically, you know, this is where things could get a little political here. But I'm just going to... I thought there was maybe a way to... distribute points randomly, but I guess not. Okay, let's think about this in a way that's not going to offend people. I would like to point out it's just going to be a video. I'm going to tailor-make what I assume to be a Democrat candidate that has a pretty good chance of success here against Donald Trump. Abortion rights. We're going to come up, you know, pretty high on those. A strong military. We're going to go a little, not too far down, but like a little down. Addressing climate change, that's going to be a big one. I would really like to win California. So there we go. Scroll down here. Fixing the obesity crisis. Sure, that seems like something we can come in a little bit on here. Fighting ISIS, I mean, maybe it's probably positive for almost everybody in the country. Ending human trafficking, who's going to say no to that, you know? Social security, I am pro making sure the nation of Florida likes me. But not the nation of Florida, you know what I mean? State unions were probably for them, I guess. Wall Street regulation. Yeah, I slightly favor. We still got 18 points left here. Fixing infrastructure. Everybody likes bridges, so let's crank that up. And then legalizing marijuana. That'll get us some votes there. There you go. Okay, ready. I mean, I didn't really customize my bobblehead or anything like that, but at the same time, I do exist here. I must have missed the bobblehead options. Okay, so we're going to play as Northern Lion, and we'll play against Donald Trump. We'll ready up. And I'll turn off all this help here. Sorry, I didn't show the character customization there. I just assumed that it would show up right away. So what is the structure of the game? It is basically a turn-based, but also real-time strategy game. So the game is turn-based. We have turns. We have 21 turns. Each turn is a week. But within those turns, it's real-time. So you and your opponent are acting at the same time. And in multiplayer, it works the same way as well. So there's some important stuff to start out with here. Let's start with the interface. Basically, if a state, I wanted to say a province there. If a state is gray, that means it could go either way. Texas right now, we have a lead, but it's way too early to tell because, you know, 13% of voters are undecided, and it's still 21 weeks away from the election. Same for, like, Washington State, the Democrats will have an advantage. California, though, is leaning far enough in one direction, as is Nevada and Utah, probably soon to be Arizona, that they have a slight, like a nice little light hue associated with them. That means in all likelihood right now, if everything is considered or is going to continue as it is right now, that's the direction that state will go. So most of it is up for grabs right now, but they do lean one way or the other based on the issues and your points basically on the issues that you created when you created your character or that your character has from the built-in game. Now, the way that things work is we have funds and we also have stamina. Stamina is used when we do things at the bottom here. Create ads, give speeches, fundraise, or build an HQ. We're going to start by upgrading our HQ here. There's 3 different kinds of HQ, basically, but you start with one that is your campaign headquarters. So we're going to upgrade this for $500,000. Every month, it's also going to give us an awareness bonus, and it gives us access to more issues. So we'll upgrade that, and we might be able to even upgrade it 1 more level. It costs $1 million, but it gives us a free political operative. It gives us huge awareness. It gives us 90,000 extra a week. So if we're going to do it, we might as well do it early. And our awareness is fully stabilized. So in Texas right now, we're going to be looking really good, in spite of the fact that, you know, we're a Democrat, and Texas typically, well, we're looking pretty good, I guess, in spite of the fact that we're a Democrat, and Texas goes traditionally Republican. We also got a free political operative, increases awareness by 1% in the state, so we'll leave them in Texas. And then, I mean, we can create an ad, but let's just do some fundraising quickly. And because this is a wealthy state and we have some support here, this will give us decent amount of money. 217,000 there. Sweet. Okay, so that's our first turn done. When we click turn, the week counter will go up. Sorry. There we go. When we click turn, the week counter will go up, and Donald Trump is going to come down here and start to campaign as well. But we haven't really started. I'm actually a little confused about. I guess I have to wait for him to finish his turn first. There we go. We finally got our stamina back. All right. We're going to wait for him to do his thing. It doesn't really matter. You kind of like play this game absent of the other person, at least when the AI is doing it, because they move so quickly that I can't hope to really keep up with them. Did he build a campaign headquarters down here? He did build a campaign headquarters down here. Basically, here's my election plan. Win California, win Texas, win Florida. If we do that and hold on to, like, New York, which we probably will, then we'll probably end up winning here. It's basically the way the American elections have gone over the past, like, 12 or 16 years. So, let's start by giving a speech, and we want to win by any means necessary here. My opponent opposes fighting ISIS. You can see we have access to every single issue here. These are already sorted in the order that the state actually cares about them. And then we can choose the subject. I favor or I oppose, or my opponent favors or my opponent opposes. So we're going to spend 5 stamina making an attack ad. Or not an attack ad, but an attack speech that basically says Donald Trump, he doesn't hate ISIS as much as I do. We gave the speech, we got plus 2%. We've come up in the state a little bit. I think we're going to create an ad as well. This is a very important state, so I'm going to say, you know what? I favor, let's find something everybody likes in the state. There are some things that everybody likes. Okay, I oppose big government. There you go. We'll create an ad like that. Costs us $30,000 a week and $450,000 to start. But there you go. We've got an ad that week over week will cost us money, but also generate positivity for us in this state. We'll also end with a little bit of fundraising. 220 grand. Not too bad. Not as much as we spent probably, but not too bad. We click on turn. There is a political opportunity for you in Delaware. Travel there before your opponent notices it. Can I be honest with you? I have no idea where Delaware... This is Delaware? Okay. We'll fly to Delaware. Because sometimes there actually can be... cool opportunities like this. Every week, by the way, you get updated on what the polls look like. Right now, it's neck and neck, but we are winning in Texas, which is kind of surprising. So that'll force Donald Trump, or the AI in this case, to focus a little bit more on Texas, which is going to waste his time. Now, I think one of the most important things in the game is to get as many headquarters built as possible, as quickly as possible, and they have way more than we do right now. So we're going to build a different kind of headquarter this time. We'll build a consulting office, and then we'll upgrade it, and then that'll probably end our turn, unfortunately. But this will allow us to get political capital that we can use to get endorsements. So let's fly in here to Delaware and see what political opportunity we have here. What a shame, as soon as Northern Lion arrived in the state earlier this week, he was slapped with a stiff lawsuit. Okay, so we lost $52,000. That's basically like a chance card thing that happened to us. Alright, so that state has become pink, which basically means it is a battleground state now. We're still winning it for now, but that could change quickly. I'm going to spend a little bit more money building an outreach center. We probably shouldn't build it in Delaware. No offense meant to the Delawareans watching this, but it's not necessarily like the world's most profitable state for us to be in, but that's okay. We've flown back to New York here, where we'll have the opportunity to make a lot of money. Let's do some fundraising quickly. I don't know why I'm rushing here. There we go. Raise a little bit of money. We got $2 million again. Let's give a speech about something New Yorkers might enjoy here. Like, for example, I favor addressing climate change. That's true. There you go. Plus 3%. We probably got New York in the bag. Look at how quickly it just turned for us there, even though they've got a headquarters. Okay, they said fly to Washington. There's 60 minutes available for you. So we can actually do a TV interview. This is something that just pops up like once every few weeks. And after we've done this, you've basically seen the gameplay loop. It's almost like a real-time strategy game in the weird sense that we want to create our own economy, which we basically did. Like a resource economy by building up those campaign headquarters and stuff like that, and then spending what we get from those to basically screw over our opponent and help ourselves out. So we go on 60 seconds. This is a parody of 60 Minutes. Tonight, a special report on the dangers of the internet. Are you one of the millions of Americans who take arguing on message boards too seriously? I'm Leslie Danger. We'll have that story and more tonight on 60 Seconds. The Keystone XL pipeline has run into repeated roadblocks. As president, would you work to clear those roadblocks or stop the pipeline entirely? We are a Democrat, so let's say oil is a step back. We need alternative energies. People have enjoyed that. It has been decades since America seriously invested in its infrastructure, and now we can see the results in crumbling roads and bridges. What would you do about this as president? Apparently, because of my issue score, all I can say here is bring on the apocalypse. So you don't really have 100% of control over what you actually end up saying here. It's based on the score that you have in the actual issues themselves and the other stats you've given yourself. This probably is not going to go too well. Doing nothing is certainly easier, and the crumbling roads will add a cool apocalyptic air to our day-to-day proceedings. I think I speak for most Americans when I say I'm in favor of seeing more leather garments and wheel spikes. People were really displeased about that. Let's see how the news reacts. Lion worries independence. Poor interview showing makes independents wonder who Lion really is. That's fair. Okay, so we've gotten some political clout. We can actually use that to hire an operative. Oh, I had it inverted with the other things we made earlier, but basically operatives cost points. The point cost is underneath them there, and the political capital that we have is over here. Political capital :9. So we can hire somebody. Let's hire a fashion consultant. This gives us appearance plus 10, which makes ads more effective and compensates a little bit for the fact that we made ourselves hideously ugly in the past. Look, this does have a little bit of an air of cynicism to it. The game, that is. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just going to skip that. There's nothing wrong with that necessarily, but keep in mind this is a pretty shallow experience overall. It's definitely not like an in-depth, super deep strategy game. It's more of just kind of a nice diversion, I guess. The reason I like it is because I'm kind of a dork about stuff like this, I guess. And there is a little lack of polish sometimes. Like, for example, presidential candidate not even being capitalized is a little weird, especially considering this is basically just a reskin of a game that's existed for a few years. But I guess I kind of take it for what it is. It's already like a niche game. I'm not going to hold it against it too much, I guess. Okay, how are the polls looking? 44-44. Texas, we're still ahead. Washington State, despite our disastrous interview, we did fine. Oregon's looking good. California's looking like no problem whatsoever. Okay, we got a little bit of money. I'll tell you what. Let's fly to California, and we're going to build an outreach center this time. This gives us PR clout, which we can use for endorsements. And then we're going to build it up to the next level. And it looks like we have another operative, so let's just hire a speechwriter who makes my speeches more effective. Sweet. And end our turn. And we're already a quarter of the way through the campaign here. But this is the shortest campaign that you can possibly do in the game. Alright, so this is Donald Trump has won the endorsement of the National Foreign Policy Committee. I'll talk about endorsements in a second. This is what it does to your issue stats, as you can see. So let's upgrade this to the maximum level, which gives us 7 PR clout a week. And then we can actually get some endorsements here. So we have 12. What's interesting about this is that you can actually choose to kind of undermine your opponent and go against the rules of the game. Not the rules, but the suggestions of the game. Of course, we could buy, as a Democrat, stuff that would be traditionally Democrat-focused, like the Environmentalist Club. But we could also get the Tea Party or the Christian Confederation or the National Gun Owners Association, but it would cost us twice as much. But it would take it directly out of our opponent's coffers. So I'm going to try to do that to be funny, I guess. We're also real low on money, so I'm going to fundraise a little bit here in California. And I'm probably going to fundraise a little bit more in California. And then I'll hire an operative. And we'll just have the operative, you know, raise our awareness in California. Then we're going to fly down here to Texas because it's a battleground state. We want to stay here and make sure that it stays good. Texas, Florida, California. Then Ohio. If we can get all 3 of those, though, we're probably in the clear. All right, end our turn. Anything there? Nope. We do have the opportunity now with 22 clout to maybe take the Christian Confederation. There you go. We've won that endorsement. It does lower our standing on some issues that are traditionally Democratic focused, I guess, but at the same time, it also gave us a huge boost in Texas. And, let's just give a quick speech there about how we favor fighting ISIS. No doubt. Look at that, plus 3%. Texas now solidly blue. We are losing in the popular vote right now, but let's just fly over to Florida here and see if we can't change that pretty quickly. So in Florida, we're getting our asses kicked. Tell you what I'm going to do then. Make a quick ad on TV. And we're going to say that basically, you might be saying, NL, what stops you from lying about what your opponent thinks? Oh, that's welcome to politics, apparently. Again, like I said, the game kind of implicitly takes a cynical approach to how to win. Smear campaigns, they totally work. They might not work as well if their issue stat is higher than your issue stat, but they will still work. Let me tell you what, let's not smear our opponent. Let's just say that I favor Social Security. And we'll also get maybe an advertisement guru that makes it cheaper for us to run advertisements in the state. And sure, we'll end our turn there. You have the opportunity to be interviewed on the O'Malley scenario. Travel there to do so. Okay, maybe I will. I'm going to try to steal some more from the Republican side of things here, just because I think it's going to help me out a lot. We're winning the popular vote actually by a lot now. And Texas remains pretty strong. Florida, we're going to need to give some speeches, though. Like, I favor Social Security, of course. Look at that. One speech puts us back in the clear there. I favor... Yeah, I guess everybody here likes supporting Israel. I favor supporting Israel. There you go. I'll say whatever it takes to get me elected is what I'm trying to say. Texas has gone pink again, which is a little scary, but that's okay. Let's fly to South Dakota to go on the O'Malley report and see if we can't do better than our disastrous interview last time. So this is kind of a knockoff of the O'Reilly report, or I don't even remember what it's called anymore. The Bill O'Reilly show. Traditionalists in this country are under siege by secularists. We've got the ACLU and other left-wing radicals running around and suing local communities that defy them. As president, what would you do about this kind of thing? I tend to side with traditionalists, or I tend to side with the secularists. What would they want me to say to become president? Look, behind these eyes, there is nothing. Nothing but a desire to be the most powerful man in the world. I tend to side with the traditionalists. They only sort of like that. What do you think of gay people being in the military? Do you think it leads to a breakdown in discipline? It's not a problem. It makes us stronger. Okay, America likes it. Maybe the O'Malley report isn't? No, it's definitely Bill O'Reilly. I was like, I don't know if that would go over the right way with the target audience, but whatever. Lion rallies base. Polls rise after appearance on the O'Malley show. Sweets. We still have 0 stamina. Candidates choose their running mates this week. All right, so now we pick a vice presidential candidate. And typically, man, Martin O'Malley with a 10 appearance rating. I like to choose a running mate that comes from a state that's worth a lot of electoral votes, because that gives you a boost for that. I am going to take Hillary Clinton as my running mate because she's from New York. So I'm going to leave her in New York, where hopefully she will help me win New York. How's Texas looking? It's getting close, but there's not many undecided voters there either. New York's also close. I'll tell you what, we're going down to Texas. We got a ton of money. We're in Texas. People already like us. Let's create some ads. I favor Social Security. We'll just do a quick little easy ground game ad. What else do people like here? I oppose big government. I'll get on TV and say that if you turn me into the next president of this country. We also raised quite a lot of money. We have 26 political clout. I think that we get the United States Chamber of Business on our side. Maybe we hire a political operative, this time like an intimidator. No, a smear merchant. Decreases opponent issue rating by 15% in target state. This is why it's so important to get those headquarters off the ground early, so that you can, I don't know, be like basically just an asshole like this. There's a political opportunity in Michigan. Travel there before your opponent realizes. Lion's winning edge, showing no signs of dulling. Keeping a fair distance between himself and his opponent, Northern Lion has continued to reign supreme in the polls through the first half of the election cycle. No kidding, man. I think, Texas looks pretty good. Apparently he got the political opportunity in Michigan, so I'm not stoked about that. I think now's our opportunity to start taking back some states that he might have a decent chance to come back in. So let's head over here to Ohio, where as of right now we haven't dedicated like any time to. And we'll tell them whatever these sheep want to hear in order to make me the next president. As usual, definitely favor fighting ISIS, and then give a little speech. I favor fighting ISIS. It's like, you can't say it wrong. Whenever you say it, people are like, yeah, man, me too. I guess it's like self-evident. Just get a little, you know, consultant going on here. Oh, we can't afford it. We only have 8 clout. Get a little spin doctor here. No, I can't afford it. Oh, I already have it. I see. Sure, let's get a PR. Oh, we already have it. Okay. I guess we'll wait a week then. Yeah, let's just finish our turn here. We're pulling out like a pretty serious lead here. I mean, there have been times when I've... Oh, you won the Tea Party away from me. There have been times when I played like the Political Machine 2012 with Josh, where like... And this is not meant as an insult for Josh as I rack up some endorsements here. For whatever reason, I just get like the game... And I've put down like some positively Ronald Reagan versus Walter Mondale type results for whatever reason. For whatever reason, I like it and I get it. Like it fits into my brain. Sure, we'll give it, it's a little bit of a contentious speech. Look, if given the option to be not contentious and universally loved, or contentious and divisively loved, allow me to be universal. I support bread. I think cheese tastes good. USA. USA. Please don't take this as a criticism of the American electoral system. It's more just me exploiting the game at this point. So if we talk about like how I feel about the game, there's pretty much, it's very gameable, if that makes sense. Like it's pretty easy to figure out, you know, what works and what doesn't, and to try to exploit that. Advertisement Guru withdraws from election campaign. There's some other elements going on here. I'm just gonna make a TV ad that I oppose big government, man. But I can't really, in good conscience, recommend this unless you really like what you're seeing. Again, it is pretty much a reskin of the Political Machine 2012, and I guess at that cost of $10, it is relatively expensive considering that it's 4 years old. That being said, if you can find somebody to play this with... Do I not have a fixer? Where did I put my fixer? Smear merchant. Where's my fixer, though? That being said, if you have someone that you can play this with and play it in multiplayer, and someone that'll take it a little bit more seriously than the normal difficulty AI does, you may find yourself actually having as much fun as I am with it, which I know sounds surprising. But for real, for whatever reason, the game tickles my fancy. I'm a little scared now. Florida still looks good, but Texas is kind of slipping away. So I'm picking up endorsements left, right, and center here. And I'm trying to hire like well, what about it? Yeah, hire an intimidator here. But I don't know if we're going to be able to get Texas. It would be really awesome if we could. We could lie. Like I favor gun rights. That did well. That brought us back in line. I favor securing the borders. Oh, they didn't like that one as much. Okay, we'll end our turn. We're getting fairly close to the end here. How's Florida looking? Still pretty good. We got a lot of the popular vote as well, but it's not really about the popular vote. It's about the Electoral College, for better or for worse. We gotta like really come out maybe with some smear ads. My opponent favors big government. I'll spend heavy on that. Let's create another ad. My opponent opposes fighting ISIS for an unbelievable reason. My opponent thinks that green olives are better than black olives. My opponent favors abortion rights. Oh, that has kind of done the opposite of what I wanted it to do. It hurt us. Donald Trump got a Hollywood friend who is apparently Bret the Hitman Hart, WWE wrestling star from the mid-90s to the early 2000s. We're up to 49%, though. I don't know if we can win Texas, man. Texas seems implausible. Florida's good. California's set in stone, man. Alright, well, I'll tell you what. Maybe sometimes the more you force it, the harder it becomes to actually make it, happen, right? Let me just reiterate. I favor Social Security. Apparently I've given this speech so many times that people are like, yeah, shut the heck up about Social Security. Nobody cares. I mean, at this point, it does look pretty locked up, but we might be able to win the popular vote while losing the Electoral College, which would be unfortunate to say the least. Let's create a quick little attack ad here, or just a regular ad. We still got $167,000. That's not zero. What about our political opportunity in Iowa? We got a Hollywood friend. It's the same dude. Raise your awareness in this state by plus 3%. Oh, and Donald Trump got the endorsement for the Association of Women because I wasn't paying attention. That's all right. We're still good here. This is what I mean when I say it's a real-time turn-based strategy game. Let's go back to New York, where it's starting to slip away a little bit. We'll just do a quick little fundraising. $261,000 might be enough to carry me through the past little bit of this. I favored addressing climate change. Yeah, there, give me my 3%. I said what you wanted to say. I danced for you. Your monkey danced for you. Now give me the votes, people. All right, is Florida ours? Ah! Texas is gone. But we got Ohio. We got to make Florida work, man. Okay, we only got 122,000. First fundraise. It gives us a little bit more. We're going to give a speech. Our opponent opposes Social Security. His opinions on it are heinous and backwards. I want you to lower my opponent's awareness here if possible. If you could also be a little bit of a smear merchant there, that'd be good. You have the opportunity to be interviewed on 60 Seconds. Travel to New Hampshire to accept it. I don't want to go to New Hampshire. It's so far away from Florida, man. Alright, we'll go on it anyway. They're having us on right before the end of the election cycle. Let's see if I can do better. The United States spends vast amounts of money on its military. Can we continue to afford this? We need to protect ourselves from Canada. We need a strong military, or a strong military is no longer necessary. Let's just say we need a strong military. Oh, people hate it. Watching the fallout from the debt crisis in Greece, do you think it's time we become concerned about our own debt issues? Debt doesn't exist. We need to tackle our debt now. People hated it! I just threw my whole campaign away on this stupid interview. Pundit wonders about the sanity of Lion. Lion! Wow, that's very unfortunate for me, I guess. We'll fly down here to Texas, where, you know, if there's any chance that we can pivot this, I'd like to. I oppose big government. My opponent favors the shit out of big government. He wants the world's largest government in the Guinness Book of World Records. Should have hired this guy before the last speech, I guess. You know, maybe some fundraising. Going into our final week, we're gonna raise some funds here. I'm pretty sure Texas is gone forever as we enter the final 2 weeks of the campaign here. I'm not going to South Dakota. He's pulled back too much, man. How is it possible that New York could go either way? It doesn't seem right. What about Ohio? Ohio's still ours. That's not pivoting. Kentucky, West Virginia is going to be ours. Here, let's go down to Kentucky and give him a little talking to. We'll say, what do you like in Kentucky? Well, we'll beat this old drum again. There's an extra 2%. Basically, there's diminishing returns, in case you haven't noticed. So, yeah. Oh, everybody in the country loves a strong military, but if you say it on 60 Seconds, people get mad. This is the last week before the election. Kentucky's good. New York's gonna be fine. Florida's gonna be close, but we should take it. Texas is screwed. Oklahoma should be good. I think we're going to win. I'm pretty sure we got enough of the battleground states that it's not going to be too much of a problem. Let's just come over here to the, two electoral vote states and say, hey, what's up, man? Create an ad. I am super into farm subsidies. I don't have enough money for that. I spent all my money. Here we go. Let's see the election. What I meant to say is there's diminishing returns with, the states that you go to. The more you beat kind of the same drum on every single issue, the more likely you are. Oh my god, I lost Ohio. The more likely they are to not be receptive to it anymore. So remember, it's first person to 270 electoral votes. So it's actually a lot closer than I thought it would be. We did lose Texas. It's very, very close. But I think we're going to get 270 because of California. Here we go. We should get all those. 289. We have won. But it was actually surprisingly close. I'd like to say that it was because I was talking at the same time, but that also was on challenging difficulty. Anyway, you can see our responses on exit polls here. That was really close. We spent way more clout and capital, but a little bit less money. Wow, we didn't really do too well on the fighting ISIS thing, despite beating that drum over and over. But anyway, yeah, we won. This is pretty much my experience with the political machine. It's a little bit janky and uneven, but at the same time, I still kind of like it. I can't really explain it in a logical fashion, except that I'm a sucker for casual strategy games, and one that has a little bit of an American political overlap on top of it tickles my fancy for whatever reason. Your mileage may vary. The existence of multiplayer is positive. I played around with it a little bit in Political Machine 2012 with Josh, and it was fun, but for now, thanks for watching. There will be a link in the video description below to pick this up on Steam if you're interested in doing so. Again, it's $10 American, and of course, if you like the video, click the like button. It helps out a great deal, and of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.